about this. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Worry about being at Bloodstock. How you feeling?
I'm really good, mate. Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm chill. That's Sunday. Have you been all weekend?
Yeah, we got it Thursday.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Heavy night so far? You've been able to relax?
We went too hard on Thursday.
Who doesn't?
And we then spent 3 days trying to recover. Is basically what happened. Today very much feels like the Sunday of a festival.
Yeah.
I feel like the Sunday of a festival.
You've still got to play.
Still got to play.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine. Yeah. We're still going to play. So we've got until 5 o'clock, and then after 5 o'clock, then we can then top up those hangovers. That's kind of the plan.
What does it feel like to play Bloodstock? Like, to have been booked here, to have this opportunity, what does that feel like?
So when I got the email confirming that we'd booked it, I was at home in the living room with my girlfriend. I was wearing just one of those big giant hoodies, right? and that was it. And I got the email and I threw my Mac across the room and then jumped up and down in my hoodie in excitement. She didn't have a clue what I'd read or anything like that. And she was like, "What are you doing?" And I couldn't tell her for a good 5 minutes, really, because I was just really excited. It was mint. I wasn't okay.
Has it always been a dream, a realistic dream? Did you ever think this was ever possible?
I mean, we've been involved in a lot of bits like Metal to the Mass in the past, things like that. From when we were first starting out and we had like the first lineup that I was involved with, we were really involved with that kind of thing. We were always getting to sort of like final semi-finals, and then we'd always feel like there was a band that was just like a genre that you couldn't compare to us, kind of thing. And a genre that was generally sort of like quite heavy, and I can remember we did one in I think it might have been Burnley or Manchester, and we got told, well, it wasn't got told, it wasn't criticism, it's just like, you sound like a download band rather than sounding like a Bloodstock band kind of thing. And it's like, do you know what, like, we were kind of like, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
Okay, we were like kind of do. And then I think that this was said like pre-pandemic. So from about 5 years ago, we kind of got that. And then I genuinely don't think that's the case anymore. Like, I really don't. So to then be this sort of like power metal band that's generally quite poppy with big choruses, big riffs and stuff like that, to then play a festival like this, I'm really stoked for it, because I feel like that we offer something that not a lot of other bands do on this lineup. There isn't a great deal of power metal.
Indeed.
To be fair.
Indeed.
Whereas other years, it's like when you've had bands like Jager
Blind Guardian and so on, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Bands like Beast in Black, all that kind of stuff. There isn't a lot of it this year.
Nope.
So I'm really stoked to be representing in that kind of sense.
You said something that I'm going to jump on, and I want to bring it back to. You talk about the misconception about whether you belong here, or you're a Bloodstock band and stuff like that. Yet Bloodstock, back in its infancy, power metal was at the core of it, biggest bands in the world. So we almost get frustrated when we hear that, because of course you belong. There's everything here for you. You belong. You are partially. You're still within the metal world, basically. Absolutely. Did you know it was going to be Jager when you got the email?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did immediately know that. And was that? I mean, were you aware what the Jager stage was?
Not massively, if I'm honest. We'd always known about New Blood stage, always known about Sofa stage, and always known about Dio stage kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it was, I mean, to be honest, when you're in sort of like a scene where you're constantly playing gigs and you're meeting other bands, it's like we know the bands who have played in previous years and they've played Jager stage, and that was probably when we first started hearing about it. But when we got the email, it didn't really clock, to be fair, and we didn't kind of put two and two together with that. But
it's a bit different this year as well. It's a bit bigger, wider stage as well.
Yeah.
Compared to Sanctuary and Freak. Have you seen anyone play over there?
Yes. We've seen a few bands play on there. So there was like Primer yesterday. We've seen Doom, we've seen Waterlines. We've seen a good few, to be fair.
Yeah, Waterlines were killer, man.
We've been kind of like floating around there, just kind of sort of like getting a gauge of sort of like what the crowd's kind of going to be like. Or more sort of like, if the crowd goes to the Jager stage, what are they expecting?
Have you tailored your set to be a bit heavier because it's Bloodstock? No, good.
No, we haven't. We've tailored our set to kind of appease a festival audience where it's like we've maybe not included some of like the longer songs, but some of the proggier kind of like longer sections, some of the longer instrumental stuff. So it's a lot more sort of like big riffs, big choruses.
You want to focus on crowd?
Absolutely, yeah, totally. And then taking a few bits from the first album. We've just got 2 singles out, and then we've got 1 tune that we're playing today that isn't out yet.
Oh, okay.
And hasn't really been played.
So we're going to hear this, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the release plan for that?
The release plan for that, okay, so we just released Sweet Sweet Solitude. That was on Friday. We are booked in to film the music video for this one. So this tune's called Sin With Me. We're booked in to film this at the end of August. Cool. So then, we're just kind of going to go from there with that, really. Yeah.
What about the rest of 2023? Got any big plans? What's in the works?
We've got plans. I wouldn't say that they're big. They're all right. Yeah, we've got a few shows dotted about that we are getting ready to announce. So looking for around sort of back end of November, December. In kind of the warm shows that we did for this, we made some friends with a couple of bands who we actually played with at the Hairy Dog.
Oh, cool.
In Derby, that was really nice. So they're Nottingham based, and we're going to do like a gig swap and stuff like that. And then for when it's actual album release and things like that, and kind of spotting that, we're just putting some things in place for a tour for February.
Okay, fantastic to hear. That's what we're going to hear, that you're busy. And of course, this is not the culmination of a journey. It's one step along the next path. The idea is to come back here and play one of these bigger stages. It happens all the time. Do you see that as a possibility in your future? What's it going to take for you to do that?
What's it going to take for you to do that? That's a really good question. Momentum, to be fair. That's one of the things. It's like over pandemic and things like that, we've essentially had a fresh start.
Yeah.
So we tried sort of like recording like just before the pandemic, and then that hit, and then everything went to let's just record like metal covers of pop songs in his bedrooms and do that to try and keep busy. But then after we sort of like finished the pandemic, we got out of that, we was like, right, so we're going to start gigging again.
Yep.
And then we were emailing, messaging everyone that we were working with before, and they'd either not doing it anymore, gone on and we've got a proper job.
Yep.
Ridiculous. and that, or they just like moved on. There's a couple of people that we were working with in Wakefield that like passed away and things like that. So it was really difficult. So we were essentially starting afresh. It was square one. So it's kind of nice that we've started from square one. We've had that fresh start, and that has given us that not momentum, but it's given us the want to do it kind of thing. Which has been really sweet.
We always see it as like a train. Sometimes, it's slow off the mark when it's moving out of station. It starts to pick up speed. More and more people are getting on as you go flying through stations. Here's one of them, for example. The amount of people who may never have heard of you will see you, will check you out in curiosity, because of course Skies Turn Black doesn't scream power metal, does it? It's not exactly a power metal name.
I didn't name it, so
it's
not my fault.
No, but it's the curiosity.
The thing
is, wow, that's not what I expected.
The band hasn't always necessarily been seen as power metal.
Of course.
It's kind of like one of those things that's always been there. It's just probably now more of a little bit of a forefront. Because when at the start of our journey, we were trying to compare ourselves to bands like Trivium, Avenged Sevenfold, things like that, Bullet. That was happening quite a lot.
Right.
And then with having Jamie on guitar.
Yep.
It's like I went to uni with Jamie, and Jamie for his pieces for uni, for his performances, he was playing like Malmsteen and stuff like that. He's ridiculous. He's insane. So it's like to have a guitarist like that and then not go down either something that's really proggy or really power metal-y. It's just always going to be sort of like a little bit there, even if it is just in solos and things like that. So the power metal has been there. It's kind of crept up on us. I think the first time I was like, oh my god, we're a power metal band, was when the album review in Metal Hammer.
Okay.
And we got like a really backhanded compliment, and I loved it. And he said it was like one of the best guitar albums of 2018, and then I think he slagged off the production. And then in the comparisons, it was just like every single one was just like Dragon Force. And we were like, ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
And it's kind of like, I get it, because from what a lot of the solos are like and a lot of the instrumental sections, I just think I didn't feel like we had it sort of like vocally and in choruses and things like that. I thought it was closer to that Bullet, that sort of like Avenged kind of stuff. So it's power metal, it's just maybe not what you'd call the blueprint for power metal kind of thing.
It's going to be very, very exciting to see. We're excited to see. A lot of people have already said they're excited to see you this weekend. This is Ozzy Osbourne, and then it's had a randomised questions. Bloodstock related, festival related, and some random ones. So when you return to Bloodstock, what would make your experience better?
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm ready for this. Okay. The only thing that I've been missing out of this whole festival experience of Bloodstock that I have loved is a supermarket.
Right.
That's me being really picky and pedantic.
Where are you camping?
Artist.
Right, exactly. There is one in the Midgard. I think there's a supermarket over Midgard, so it's there already.
Ignore me.
Go wonder, basically. Yeah. Have you ever experienced something you can't explain?
I mean, most times when I'm watching Jamie write a song, to be fair,
right,
if I'm honest, because he's insane.
Yeah.
It was when he was doing his masters, and he was talking me through what his thesis was, and he gave me it to read.
Go, just.
I was just like I've got a music tech degree.
Right.
And he was just like, you'll appreciate this, you'll know what's going on here.
Nope.
And he's just like, it's good, innit? I'm like, he still thinks I understood it.
Make it. What is your favourite Disney animated movie?
Okay, this is my fault. Are we talking Pixar?
No, Disney animated.
Disney animated?
Yeah. Very
Ooh. See, I'm not gonna lie, I love Frozen.
Oh, okay, alright, okay.
That kind of era of Disney musicals when it was that sort of like Tangled, Frozen, Moana. So it's like, I was working at HMV at the time, and I got discount on the vinyls there. So I've got all three of those on Picture Disc vinyl.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's great. Yeah.
I'll do one more for you then. The highlight of Bloodstock 2023 has been?
Ooh. Do you know what? Meshuggah.
Oh really? Okay, yeah.
Because I came into this as a bit of a Meshuggah virgin, and I'd known bits, okay, but they weren't a band that was at the forefront for me. They were for Jamie, and Jamie was like, so you're going to come see them? I was like, well, I'm at a festival, there's music on, I'm going to go see them. And he described my face throughout it as being the shocked Pikachu meme. And he said that his favourite thing of Bloodstock has been watching me watch Meshuggah.
Oh, that's
just because every time something cool happened, I was in a trance. It was ridiculous. Yeah, so that's been Bloodstock for me so far. Has been that Meshuggah set.
So far, as you said, the next highlight will be, of course, when you perform and you get off that stage and look back and have had a great time. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. No worries. There we go.